Hi everyone, very good evening. I would like to welcome you all for today's webinar, Integration of AutoCAD Electrical and Inventor. Okay. In this session, we're going to discuss about how we can approach electromechanical design. Okay. If you take electromechanical designs, it plays a role in wide range of industries. Say control panel manufacturers, or automobile manufacturers, or SPM manufacturers, where they have one common requirement, like they want to integrate everything into a single platform. Okay? They want to integrate their mechanical design as well as their electrical design into a single prototype, so that they could able to overcome the disadvantages like the communication gap and the data mismatch between these two things when they are going for any updates and revisions. Uh, and they there will not be any flexibility when we going for a different set of softwares. Okay, so the advantages for going with the same with a single platform is like they will be having more flexibility in the design, and also they will be having shorter uh, development time that will lead us to save overall cost. Okay, so that's the advantages of this one. Okay, now let us see how we could able to take our data from electrical to inventor and vice versa. Okay, so before that, I want to give you some insights about AutoCAD Electrical and how it will look like and what are all the things that is present inside your AutoCAD Electrical. Okay, so then we will move for this conversion. So let's jump into the uh, electrical software. All right. So unlike AutoCAD, this AutoCAD Electrical is a project-based software where all your electrical data, your components, and your schematic layout, everything will be present inside this project. Okay, and you can see the interface. So it is quite different from that of your normal AutoCAD. Okay, so this is specifically designed for the people who go for electrical designs and electrical layouts and panels. So for those kind of people, this will be very useful. Okay, so let us take one project. So let me see. Let me activate this one. So where you can see all your projects will be listed out here, and the data, that is your drawings, everything will be inside your project. If you want to open any project, that will be in .wdp. So how we will be having an inventor, like let's say we will be having like .ipj file, right? You have any project where we will be having like .ipj. So in same manner, for AutoCAD Electrical, we will be having like .wdp. Okay, so it means that's the electrical project. Okay, so we can directly click that wdp files, so automatically that project will be loaded into your project manager. Okay, so in that project we will be having different components. We will be having the schematic layout, and we will be also having the panel layout. Okay, so this schematic layout is nothing but the wiring connections between different components. You can see here. So that's my different electrical components. So it is where I'm having wiring connections between this all connections. Okay, and we will be also having the panel layouts. So this means my overall outer layout. Okay, so where inside I will be having my wiring layout. Okay, we could able to also connect the data between these two things from my schematic to my panel layout also. So AutoCAD Electrical offers you so many things you can do with as a electrical engineer. So where we can able to give our schematic layouts, where we will be having wirings, single phase as well as three phase wirings. Okay, so let us give you some components here. So to place any components into your wiring layout, you can go for icon menu, where we will be having all our electrical components, like say push button, everything we will be having here. And if you want to place anything, you can directly select that component, and you can directly place into your wiring schematic layout. Okay, So once we play, see actually what is happening. So automatically it is taking its own tag formats. Okay. So based on the available, let's say if you are already if you are having already PB means push button. If you are already having PB here, let's say 201, it will directly take the next value 202. Okay. So it contains all the data of the number of components present here and number of wires that is present here, and also it will give you the nice information about the where the wires flows from your which component to which component. So all this information it will give you as a Excel format, and also it will give you inside the drawing also. Okay. So if you want to go for any, let's say any wiring layout, we could also able to give that. And so not only with that, if you want to take any component from a catalog browser, this catalog browser is nothing but a library where we will be having know, uh, components for a different set of manufacturers. Okay, so let me take this PB again. Let me search that. So when I search that, you can see this push button is available with different manufacturers. Let's say for AB, okay, and for Tele. So this all this data will be available with different set of manufacturers, so we can directly take from here. So again, if I click that, it is giving you different types of representation, so we can take anything and we can place here. Okay, so when I take, see example, see, it is directly giving you all the manufacturer information. Okay, so we can export this information into our BOM layout, and it is very easy to procure these components. So this electrical will be is full of information where it will give you everything. Okay. All right. The data also flows from one set of component to a other set of components. So what I'm trying to say is, like, let's say let us take let's take this component for example. And if you want to see where and all we have used this component, so if you go to the software, and it will tell you, from in which drawing number we have used. We have used in drawing number 2 again, and we have used in drawing number 9. Okay, so if you want to see that, just go for go to, and it will directly show you where it is here. Okay, again, if you want to go to that one, again you can go to go to. So in that way, we could able to link between different layouts from your schematic to panel. Okay, so yes, everything is connected here. Okay, so that's what your schematic layout here, where you will be having all your standard electrical components inside your library. So here we will call as a catalog browser. Okay, we could also able to add different manufacturers into our electrical AutoCAD Electrical, like Siemens, Skinner Electric, like this. So we have that options also. So finally, we will be having panels again. In these panels, we could able to bring the no, bring the 2D symbols that what we have used in the schematic. So basically, we could able to link between the schematic as well as panel layout. Okay. Uh, so we could also able to generate reports from these one. Let's say if you want to know what are all the components that we have used in the entire project, or in this each drawing, we could also able to take data from that one. Okay, so let us take one report. So let me go to this no let me go to this report, and let me go for bill of materials, and I'm going to take the bill of material for entire project. Let me give okay, and let me process everything, and click okay. Yes, this is what the total BOM information for this entire project, and what are all the components. Components is represented with the tag format here. So once you take that, we can go for put on drawing. So what it will give you is like, that's my data here. So you can see that's my bill of materials, where you will be having tags, your catalog number from the manufacturer, and who is the manufacturer, and what is the description of that component. So also you could able to export these one to your Excel files also. The nice information, the nice thing with AutoCAD Electrical is like we could also able to set automatic reports, where within one or few clicks it will directly generate a report into a specified folder in the Excel format or the format that we need, and it will directly place your reports into the AutoCAD in the drawing itself. So those kind of setups we could able to do with automatic reports. Okay. And finally we will be having like import and export data, where we could able to export our PLC data or from our panel or schematic layer to the Excels, to Excel sheet, and we could also import the data from Excel sheet to our, let's say if you want to import your PLC data from your Excel sheet to the AutoCAD Electrical also, we could also able to do that. Okay. So finally, this is what we're going to see, where we could able to export our Inventor file to XML file, and also we could able to import that one to a AutoCAD Electrical. Okay. So here is a link setup, where we could able to link between our Inventor to AutoCAD Electrical. So where we will be doing basic electromechanical link. So it will create a link between these two things. Okay. Finally, conversion tools, and if you want to convert any of your AutoCAD drawing to electrical, AutoCAD electrical drawing. See basically what we have, traditionally we will be that will be designed with the using normal AutoCAD. Now, if you want to convert that layout to a electrical layout, also we could able to do using this conversion tools. Okay, so this is what inside your AutoCAD electrical. Okay, so now let us jump into for a integration, or we can integrate from this one to Inventor, right? So before moving into integration, okay, where as we see, no, in electrical we will be having logical schematic layouts. So in the schematic layouts we will be having 2D connectors and the symbols, and we will be also having 2D panel layouts, and finally we could able to generate reports from that. Okay, so this is about your electrical. So what we could able to do in AutoCAD, Autodesk Inventor, okay, where we could able to see the physical connections. Okay, so this is your 2D layout, where we could able to see our layout in only the 2D. But in Inventor we could able to see physical connections between the electrical components, and also we could able to make 3D cable and harness, and finally we could able to go for nail board drawings inside your Inventor. So there are some guidelines, there are like some of the terms which is in electrical, and there are some of the terms in Inventor. Basically it means the same, but it will be represented in a different different text or different terms in electrical as well as Inventor. No, as we have seen this tag, right? Let me show you the tag. See, tag is nothing but this is my tag. Okay, so this is my tag. So when you go for edit component, it will give you the component tag. So this component tag will be called as a reference designator in my reference designator in my Inventor. The same thing we will call as a terminal, and we will call that one as a pin connection Inventor. So so these things we need to have before exporting from electrical to Inventor, okay, so that you don't get any error, and your Inventor able to read all your data, and it will give once it read, and it will give you all nice information without any error. Okay, where we need to give the wire type and layer name, let's say which color it is, and so those kind of things we need to provide in electrical, that would able to read by Inventor using these types, okay, wire types and wire identifiers, like so like 16 AW, like we can also identify based on the gauge sizes. Okay. And finally, there should not any open connection to be left out. All wiring connections, connections should be made on all the both ends. so that it will avoid any errors while removing data from electrical to inventor. Okay. So how it will be exported is like from the electrical it will be exported as a XML format, which it contains all these information, your tag information and your pin connection information and what is the type of wire it is and what is the wire number it is, and so where it goes from which component to which component. So we could able to export this one as XML format, and that will be imported into your inventor. Uh, the same vice versa also works when you want to export from inventor to the electrical. You will export that one as XML format again. No, so where we have seen like tag, instead of tag format, we will export that one as a reference designator. So pin connections and wire type. So this kind of things we use to export to the electrical. Okay, so make sure we have all these things we have given in the electrical before exporting to a inventor interface. Okay, so now let us see how to do that. Okay, how to connect both these things. So here, let me take this project. Let me activate that. I think we will be already in that drawing only. Okay. So if you look into this one, where we will be having connectors, okay, placed inside our AutoCAD Electrical. Okay. So the connector here, my tag name is like 23x1. Here my tag name is 23x3. Okay. Um, Let me show you my inventor model, where these are my components, my 23x2 and 23x3 and 23x1. So basically we having three pin connectors. Okay, and my electrical I'm having two pin connectors here. We need to create one more. So number of pins we are having like 9 number of pins, and we are having 5 pins. Okay, so if you go here, we have one more connector, that is 23x2. So we need to create that one in electrical, and let us see how to bring that one and all the wiring information from your AutoCAD electrical to inventor. Okay. So first, to create this pin connectors, let us go to this schematic. Okay, where you will be having this insert connectors. So go to this insert connector, where we need to give the spacing between each and every wiring connection. So the spacing between, let's say, 1, 2, or between 2, 3. So I'm giving the spacing 0.5. Number of pins we need is like 9. And if you expand this one, you can see where also we could able to control whether you want horizontally or whether you want vertically or whether you want only the plug. Those kind of things also we could able to edit here. So once you did that, so let me import that connector inside my AutoCAD Electrical, right? So once we import it, we need to give the tag information. So this tag is very important. So these tags will be read inside your inventor as a reference designator. Okay, let me give the name 23x. We having already x1 and x3, right? Let me give that one as a, let's say, x2. Let us click OK. So that's my components. Okay. Component number 1, component number 2, and component number 3. Each one is having a own tag name. Okay, right. Now let us go for the next option, how to create wiring connection between these things. Okay, so to create a single wire, we will use to go for this wiring connection for a single wire. Okay, but here we need multiple wiring connections, right? So to do that, let me move, me space it. Let me place it here. Right. So now let me go to this multiple bus connection. Okay, where we could able to take multiple wires. Okay. So if you go to this multiple bus, where we could take number of wires, no, from our components, no, where we can tell that one to pick number of wires from this component. Let's say number of wires is a 3 or 4 or 5 based on our own requirement. Or within no empty space, if you we can directly specify here number of wires. So like that also we can go. But here I'm going as per my uh, component. Okay, so I'm going to multiple bus. Let me click this component. Click OK. So once you click that, we need to specify what are all the wiring connections we need. So I'm going from 1 to 3. Let me take this, uh, just right click that one, and it will directly take a wiring connection from that. Okay. So once you take the wiring connections, we need to give what is the type of wire it is. Okay. Actually, I forgot to tell you. So if you go to this layer, I already created the layers inside my AutoCAD Electrical. Okay, there are wiring names. You can see this 14 AWG green wire. 14 is my gauge size, 22 gauge size, and that's my black wire. So all my layers I already created. So then it is easy for me to give what type of wire it is. Okay, so using these layers, I'm going to assign each and every wire types. Okay, so again, let us go to the schematic. Let us take the wires. Could also able to flip, no, you could also able to flip that wiring connection if you're getting like this. um, so here we need to give type of wire it is. Okay, I'm going for a blue wire, that is 18 AWG blue. Let me give OK, and once you give that, and so where you want to connect those wires, just select that cross mark area. So automatically it will give you this blue color wires. Okay, so next let us take wiring connection from these x1 to x2. So we go to multiple bus connection again. We select the component. So where we need wiring connection from this end. So let me give for to give my wire type. I'm going to give as a T. Okay, just press T. Enter. So where we need to give, I'm going for let's say red color wise. Click OK. So once you give that, automatically it will take a wiring connections. So and finally we need to take a different color wires from these connectors. Let me go to multiple bus again. Component. So here we're going to take different color, that is green color wires from here. So I think we have given our tag names, wiring connections. Next, we need to give the numbering for this wiring also, so that my inventor could able to easily read what is the connection between this component to this component. Okay. So give the wiring numbers. You can go to the wire number. Okay. We can able to give manually if you want to give the individual wiring connections. If you want to give individual wiring connection, we can go to wire numbers, where we can pick individual wires and we can give the wiring number manually. Okay, that is one way. Another way is like directly we can go for drawing wire. So what it will do is like it will directly give you the number automatically. Okay, so you can see based on the arrangements that we have made. So that 10 1 is my wiring number for this connection from 1 to 1. Okay, so you can see here, so all my wiring numbers and everything has been given. Okay, so what I'm going to do is like I want to export this data, so that my inventor could able to read it, and I could able to give physical connection in my inventor. So let me export this one. To export, let me go to import and export data, and let me go to inventor. So instead of project, I'm going for active drawing, and let me click OK. You can see, it is exported as a .xml format. Okay. Let me give some name. Um, so let me give that name as a from AutoCAD Electrical. Okay, so let me save that format as a .xml format. Right, we have saved. So that's what simple layout that we have created in a AutoCAD Electrical. Now let us jump to AutoCAD Autodesk Inventor, where we import that data into my Inventor. Okay, and let us see how to give connections to that one. So before giving the connections, and you can see this is my component. Okay, 23x2. Here my part number is different, and my reference designator is different. Basically, this is what we will call as a tag number in my AutoCAD Electrical. So that tag name we will call here as a reference designator in Autodesk Inventor, right? So that once you give that reference designator, it will automatically able to connect between these two things. So let us see that this is my x2, that is my x3, and that is my x1. Okay, and if you take a closer look, you could able to see where already the where I already have given the pin connections to each of this component. Okay, so if you just zoom this one, you can see this one, and you can see this one also. You already given pin connection for these two components. Now we need to give pin connection to this uh, part. Okay, so how to give the pin connection to this one? Let us do that. So first, let us give pin connections to this one, and again we will import the data. Okay, so to give pin connections to this one, let me edit. So it will directly take me to my part environment. So where I can go to my harness tab, I can go to my place pin. Now I can give the pin connections. Okay, that's my pin number 1, and that is my pin number. Is my pin number 2. Okay, so by giving this, you can also give unique name to your pin, and you can go to your custom where you can give different names to your pin connections. Okay, so click that. That's my pin number 3. That's my pin number 4. Pin number 5, and that's my pin number 6, and let's say that's my pin number 7. That's my pin number 8, and finally that's my pin number 9. Right, so we gave all our pin connections here. Okay. Now let us return to our harness environment. Now, so we have all connections, we have all pin connections right now, and let us import the wiring information from our imported data. So let me go to import harness data, and let me select the name. So this is what we have exported the data from AutoCAD Electrical. So let me just select that XML format. Let me open and click OK. So once we open that, that's my data, where we can see all our wiring information. Okay, 10. No, we have given using the wire number, right? So this is the information, and here you can see there is some we getting some errors here. The reason is like this component. We just see this component here. The name of the component is given like 36124, but this data is telling me I could not able to find out this 23x1 and 23x2. Okay, so what we need to do here is like we need to designate these one to a correct components. So that's what we will call as a reference designator. So this 23x1, let me select that, and let me right click, and let me assign these connection to the ports present here. So to assign that, let me right click and let me go to assign to an existing electrical port. You can also choose from the part which is already available in the library, or we can go to this option right now. So 23x1 is, that's my 23x1. Let me click OK. 23x2, here that's my 23x2. Click OK. 23x3, that's my 23x3. Let me click that. Right. So now I think the there is no errors, right? And now see, if you just go for this wiring information where it will give you the reference designation, there is nothing but 1 23 1. So it is going to pin number 1 from your 23x1, and from 23x2 again from 1 to 1. That is what this information says, and what is the wiring name and color. Okay, so let's click OK. So, and finally it's telling me there is no errors. Okay, all right, let us give that and close it. So once we given that, and you can see the wiring from your different components. Okay, this is what my wiring goes as per my AutoCAD electrical information from a pin. See, from a pin 1 to pin 23x2 pin, that's wire color is my red color. You can see the same kind of information. Right, so now let us route that. Okay, so I want to give no, instead of that I want to give this wiring connection into my cable layout. So how to create this cable layout? Let us see that. So to create the cable layout, first we need to create some segments. So go to create a segment. So I want to start my segment, let's say from here. Okay, let me click somewhere around here. So that should pass along with this cable tray. So I need to give some height to this one. So let us edit offset, and I want to give up to, let's say, let me click somewhere around here, and let me do this one. Edit the offset, and let me give 12. So I want to route that cable from this one up to here, and that should go upwards. Okay, so I'm just taking this one here, and here let us edit offset, and let me give something like, let's say, 2.54. And so I want to take that connection from here. So that's what my cable connection is. So once it has been done, just right click and you finish. Okay. So it gave you a nice cable layout that passes from your 23x1 to 23x2. The reason why I given is like I want to include all my wires into this cable layout. Okay. And one more thing what I want to do is like I also want to connect these wire inside my cable layout. Okay, so again to create that one, I'm going for a create segment. Let me select the point somewhere or around, let's say, from here, and you can see that has created one segment here. So from there to, let's say, up to from let's say that up to that here, and let me finish that, and it has been created on layout. Okay, now let us route this wire inside my cable layout. So to do that, either we can do that one in a manual way, or we can do that one in an automatic way. If to do that in manual way, you will go to route option, where just select the wire and your first segment. So automatically what will happen is like, let me click OK, and you can see that one wire is routed into to your cable. But I want to route all these wires into my cable. So instead of going manually one by one, to save my time, I'm going to automatic route here. Just put automatic route. I'm going for all unrouted wires. So let us click that. So it is telling me totally we having like 10 wires. Let us click OK. And we can see all our wires has been routed very nicely inside my cable, right? You can see here. Okay. But by looking it closely, we can see there is some, this wires is taking its own path. See, it is overlapping somewhere around here, right? So to reduce this kind of errors, what we can do is like we can assign some wiring properties to these ones, so that it will this wiring will come and connect to this cable layout in a different way. So to do that, let us get into the environment. Let me edit that. Let me go to this part again. Let me edit that. So where you can go to inside my part environment, I can go to my manage tab, where I could able to author this electrical connector. Okay. So go to this author panel, where we can go for connectors. So here I could able to give my where my connections what length my connection wise to be uh, come and follow this path. So I can give that path. So this is my path here. So once you given that, let us click now, return to this one. Now you can see all your wires, right? It is taking somewhere on this path. Now it is very good. So likewise, we can also give the connection to the different ones. Okay. So that's what you have taken the data from our electrical, and we have created a route inside my inventor. And what we can also do with this one is like you can also take this information to your drawing, and we can also represent what are all the connections and what is the pins it is having and what are the components it is having. We can also give that information in your inventor drawing itself. Okay, let us see how to do that. So let me go to the manage tab, where you will have something called nail board drawing. So basically, to generate your nail board drawing, just click that, and it is asking me to choose my template. Let me choose this template. Yes. So we have a nail board view of my harness. Okay, this is my wiring harness that we have made there. So let us see what are the information that we can give inside to this one. Let us go to nail board here. Right. So to give the dimensions to this one, let me go to this harness dimension, where we can select the points from this one, and from that one, that one. Right. So also we can give the other information as well here. Like let's say if you want to change the directions, we can go to pivot, and we can view if you want to align this one with different angle. So in that way also we can do. Let's say if you're going for a bunch of wiring harness where one will clash with other wiring harness, in that way if you want to change this one, we can use this pivot option. Okay. And we can also give other information, like we can give what is the pin number here, those kind of informations also we can give. So let us go to this property display, where let me select the all pins. Just once I click, and it is asking me to select the offset, because that offset I could able to create my numbering. Let me give somewhere offset around here. So you can see that's my pin numbers 1 2 and like this. Okay. So I could also able to change. So I could we can easily assign these one. Right. So in that way also we could able to change our actions. Okay, so the nice information about this nail board view is like we could also give the 3D representation of our connectors. Okay, we can also tell how these connectors will look in your 3D view. So to place that, you can go to this place connector views. So where we can select, that's my connector reference designator 23x1, x2, and x3. Let me select everything and click OK, and you can see all your connectors that we used in the wiring harness, everything is present here. So it will give you more clarity about what is the type of connector and what are the pin names and everything. Okay, so so that's what your wiring harness means, data editing data from here to that one about. Now we going to do some minor changes in Inventor itself, and let us see how to export this one to my uh, AutoCAD Electrical. Okay, let us get into again to this one. Here what I'm going to do means I'm going to delete this wiring information. Let us delete that. Okay, so we have deleted all these three connections. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to route manually, and I'm going to export that data to my AutoCAD Electrical. So let us see how it is including that. Here instead of wiring, I want to go with the cable connections. Okay, so let me go to cable, and then let me select the type of cable. So here you will have so many types of cables. Okay, in this one I'm going to select this one, where also you can see the properties of that. So I'm going to select this one, and let me select the pin. This is my pin number 1, and that should go up to this pin number 9. So next connection, that one to my 8. To my this one. So once you given that, and you can see the different colors here. Okay, one is my black, and one is my red, and one is my white. So let me give OK. So it created a cable information, right? Gave you clear cable information. So let us again route these one. So let me go for automatic route. It is giving me 3. Let me route that. Yes. Now we routed this one also. Now let us export this data, and let us see how we could able to do in a electrical. Okay. Let us go to export harness data. Here let us give you like from Inventor. Okay. So let me save that one in .xml format. Let me save that. Let's go to here. Here, what I'm going to do means I'm going to delete all this information. So all my wiring data, and also I'm going to delete this pin also. So let me delete that. So once I deleted that one, now let us import the data. So let me go to schematic, where you can find something like insert connector from list. Okay, let me select this option, where it is asking me to select my XML data. Okay. Let me select from Inventor, and let me open that. See here, this dialog box is telling me already we having two connectors. Okay, that into mark, which means we already placed these two connectors. So we need one more connector here. Let me select that connector. We need to place this connector right now. Let me select that. A number of pins is like 9, and wide pins is like 7. Okay. Uh, First, let us insert that connector. So I want to place. Let's see, I want to place here. So once you place it, and the important one here is like we need to wire it. Go for wire it. See what will happen. See how it updated automatically. Okay. So now let us cancel that one. See the changes what we have made here. Okay, so before that we have like blue color here, right? And we have made that changes in our inventor using different cable markers. It is not a wire actually, this is a cable mark, cables. Okay, so see how it is represented in my AutoCAD electrical. So it is giving that like cable 1 and 2, 3, and with different names and with different colors, and the rest of the data, whatever we did at inventor, we having the same with component, right? So that's how smooth the workflow between your inventor and AutoCAD electrical. Okay. Uh, I hope. I think the session is clear. This is how we able to export from Inventor to AutoCAD Electrical. There is one more option available inside both the interface where we could able to create a link between these two things. Okay, so where we can link our AutoCAD Electrical project with your Electromechanical file. So whatever data we use in Electrical as well as Inventor, it could flow in both the way, and we could try to cover this option maybe in the future topics, right? And if you go to let's say even if you go to here where you also you will find something called electromechanical setup where we could able to link with the inventor one. Okay, so that's what for this session. And if you have any doubts, and you could please post your questions in the comment section, and I will try to answer those questions. uh, so that's it. Thank you.